Right. Good evening, sixth grade. How are you today? Today we will take page 19 from your student book. So open your student book, page 19. Are you ready, sixth grade? Excellent. Exercise number 1. Listen and practice with similar conversation. Again, listen and practice with similar conversations. What do we mean by conversation, Sadis? Page 19. Page 19, your student book. Okay? Excellent. Conversation means محادثة. Excellent يا هدى. Excellent هيفا. Our conversation today is introduction to present perfect. هتكون مقدمة لقاعدة present perfect المضارع التام. Okay, سادس? Okay. Now let's start with our conversation. A. Have you heard the news yet? B. What? What has happened? Have you already? Listen. Again, sixth grade. A. Have you heard the news yet? B. What? What has happened? Have you already talked to Miss Lynn about the French course? A. Now look at this picture. Look at this picture, yeah, Sadis. What can you see? What can you see in this picture? What can you see in this picture, ya Sadis? What can you see in this picture? Two students or two boys, excellent. Two students, two boys, bravo, excellent. Two students or two boys, okay. Now, what are they holding by their hands? What are they holding by their hands? By English. They are holding books. They are holding books. يحملون الكتب. Okay, سادس. طيب. What do you expect? What do you expect these two people are? What do you expect? ايش تتوقع يكونوا؟ What do you expect يا سادس? What do you expect these people or these two people are? Excellent. طلاب by English. They are students. They are school students. طلاب مدرسة. Okay, سادس? Now let's start. Let's start the conversation. Have you heard the news yet? B. What? What has happened? Have you already talked to Miss Lynn about the French course? Number A, ask number 2. Have you heard the news yet? What do you mean by heard? What do you mean? What do you mean by heard? سمع. سمع. It's past participle for hear. الماضي التام لكلمة hear. يسمع. Okay, سادس. Yet. What do you mean by yet? What do you mean by yet? هل سمعت الأخبار yet؟ حتى الآن. Yet means حتى الآن. Have you heard the news yet? Number B answer, what? What has happened? What do you mean by happened? What do you mean by happened, سادس? حدث. It's past participle for happen. الماضي التام لكلمة happen يحدث حدث. Excellent. تصريف التاج. برافو هدى. Excellent ماريا. Have you already talked to Miss Lynn about the French course? Have you already? What do you mean by already? Sadis. What do you mean by already? What's the meaning of already? Already, يا سادس means سابقا. Excellent. سابقا محمد وليد. برافو. سابقا أو فعلا. It's a key word for present perfect. تعتبر من الكلمات الدالة لا المضارع التام. Means that the action has happened before now. The action has happened before now. الفعل الذي حصل قبل أو فعلا أو سابقا حصل. It's already happened. Okay, سادس? Now, let's complete. French course means دورة اللغة الإنجليزية أو محادثة اللغة الإنجليزية. Okay. Number A. Yes, I have. And she has already expected us in her French language teaching course. Again. Yes, I have. And she has already expected us in her French language teaching course. Yes, I have. She has already expected. What do you mean by expected? What do you mean by expected, ya Sadis? Expected. What do you mean by expected? Expected لا مش حادث. Not accident. Expected. حصل. لا. Very good. هدى. قبل أو وافق. Past participle for expect. ماضي التام لكلمة أو لفعل expect. يوافق. expected وافق أو قبل بالماضي. expect يوافق. Okay, سادس. Now, let's return to our conversation. She has already expected. هي وافقت فعلا أو سابقا in her French language teaching course لانضمامنا لكورس اللغة الفرنسية. Okay. B. Wow, that's really good news. I have never thought that I was going to be expected. Wow, that's really good news. News أخبار جيدة. Good news. I have never thought. What do you mean by thought? I have never thought. Never. Bravo. Never أبدا. Excellent there. Bravo محمد. هدى. What do you mean by thought? Thought. What do you mean by thought, سادس? Thought. فكر. It's past participle for think. ماضي التام بكلمة think يفكر. So thought means فكر أو اعتقد. Past participle تصريف الثالث for think. Okay, سادس. Let's return to our conversation. I've never أنا أبدا لم أعتقد. I never thought that I'm going to be expected. ما توقعت أنه يتم قبولنا. Okay, سادس. Now, A. Yes, but don't forget that you haven't finished your English course yet. But don't forget. What do you mean by don't forget? Don't forget. لا تنسى. Excellent. Forget ينسى أو نسي. Don't forget that you haven't finished. You haven't finished. What do you mean by finished? Finished انتهى. Finished excellent. Haven't finished. Finished التصريف الثالث past participle for finish. انتهى بالماضي. Finish ينتهي. Excellent. Finished your English course yet. لم ننتهي من كورس اللغة الإنجليزية yet. حكينا yet يا ثالث يا سادس. Yet means حتى الآن. Yet means حتى الآن. And we always use yet for question form and negative. دائما نستعمل حتى الآن yet. We always use it by question form and negative form مع الجمل اللي فيها أسئلة question and النفي جمل النيجاتيف. اوكي سادس. Is it clear؟ للسؤال والنفي. برافو ماريا. Is it clear سادس؟ Do you understand؟ Now let's complete. B. Don't worry. I have never forgotten this. I will do my best. Tell me, has anybody ever learned how to speak French in our class? Don't worry. What do you mean by don't worry? Don't worry. Bravo. زيد. Bravo. لا تقلق. Excellent. هيفا. هدى. Excellent. Excellent. Don't worry. لا تقلق. I have never forgotten. What do you mean by forgotten? I have never forgotten. Forgotten. نسي. نسي. Forgotten. نسي. Forgotten. Forgotten. It's past participle for forget. forget ينسى. مضارع الباست participle التصريف الثالث إلها forgotten. forgotten نسي. اوكي سادس. I have never forgotten this. أنا أبدا لم أنسى ذلك. I will do my best. I will do my best. سوف أبذل قصارى جهدي. Tell me, has anybody ever learned how to speak French in our class? What do you mean by learned? Learned. It's past participle for learn. تعلم. التصريف الثالث لكلمة learn. learn تعلم. learn يتعلم. Excellent سادس. learned how to speak French in our class. هل أحد تعلم الحديث باللغة الفرنسية in our class? A. Yes. لا. Don't worry again. To speak French in our class. A. يجاوب No. No one has ever learned French. No one has ever learned French. لا أحد تعلم اللغة الفرنسية. We are going to be the first students. We are going to be the first students. أول الطلبة who will learn the French language. Excellent. I think it's going to be a completely great adventure. I think it's going to be a completely great adventure. What do you mean by adventure? Great adventure. برافو. مغامرة جيدة or مغامرة رائعة. Completely. What do you mean by completely? سادس. Completely تماما. تماما. Very أو تماما. Great adventure. مغامرة رائعة أو مغامرة جيدة. Now let's go back to our words. كلماتنا. Conversations حكينا محادثة. Heard. Heard past participle for hear. الماضي التام لكلمة يسمع. Excellent. Now already. Already. Already means فعلا أو سابقا. Means that the action has happened before now. حدث حصل قبل الآن. سابقا أو already happened. حصل فعلا. Okay سادس. Now happened. Happened past participle for happen. التصريف الثالث ل happen يحدث. happened حدث. Okay. Expected. Accepted. Sorry سادس. Accepted. What do you mean by accepted? Accept يوافق أو يقبل. Excellent. Accepted past participle for accept. إذا وافق أو قبل أو قبل بالماضي. News. News. What do we mean by news? What's the meaning of news? Excellent. أخبار. News means أخبار. Yet. حكينا معناها means حتى الآن. Yet حتى الآن. And we always use yet in question and negative form. دائما yet حتى الآن تيجي مع السؤال and negative والنفي. Okay سادس. Okay. Never. What do we mean by never? Never. أبدا. Excellent. Never. أبدا. And already و never و yet keywords for present perfect. تعتبر كلمات دالة for present perfect. What do we mean by present perfect سادس? What's the meaning of present perfect? Present perfect مضارع تام. برافو. So already, yet, and never. It's a keywords. They are keywords for present perfect. كلمات دالة للمضارع التام. Thought. Thought. فكر أو اعتقد. فكر أو اعتقد. It's present. It's simple. Past participle for think. Past participle for think. ما في صوت سادس. Can you hear me? اوكي. الماضي التام يعني الفيرب 3 لكلمة think يفكر. برافو. اوكي. Now forgotten. Forgotten حكينا يا سادس means نسي. نسي. It's past participle. تصريف الثالث for forget. تصريف الثالث برافو for forget. تصريف الثالث لكلمة forget نسي. learned. learned. حكينا learned means تعلم not يتعلم. تعلم. excellent هيفا هدى برافو. excellent محمد تعلم. برافو ريم excellent. تعلم past participle for learn. الماضي التام بكلمة learn يتعلم. No. Adventure. Great adventure. We have great adventure. مغامرة. It's a noun. Noun اسم. Adventure مغامرة. Okay سادس. Okay سادس. Do you understand our conversation? المحادثة. Do you have any questions? 6th grade. Do you have any question? Bravo سادس. Excellent. Thank you Sadis for being an active today. Thank you for listening and have a nice day. Goodbye Sadis.